when we grow up, when we was kids growing up, one of those cartoons that we woke up watching every Saturday morning, or the TV show, when it came to cowboys and Indians, one of my favorites I grew up watching was no doubt was the Lone Ranger. I mean, think about it. We were kids at that time and stuff, 6, 7, 8 years old. We see this white man in a mask, wearing a white hat, blue outfit, riding a white horse, and the infamous words, hi ho silver, used to always came out. Lone Ranger and Tonto, who happened to be an indigenous quote unquote Native American, and he rode his horse, which was Scout. Scout was a pinto, who would like blotched black and white. And I kind of find that real intriguing now that I think about it. Lone Ranger Silver was an all white horse, no melanin, no nothing whatsoever, and as grew up, and then they made the 80s movies about the Lone Ranger and stuff. It's kind of funny because the fact of the matter that that an all white horse who running wild in the middle of rural Texas or whatever like that. Well, and the more I thought about it, I was thinking like everybody else, like we all wanted to be like the Lone Ranger, and all this stuff like this, Lone Ranger, Texas Ranger, that came out like that, so on and so forth. But then, as 11 years ago, as when I came into the realm of consciousness, and that was, not really 10, 11 years ago, during the 90s, when I started coming into consciousness and self-awareness and so on and so forth. One of the things that always stuck subconsciously to me was, which I knew for a fact that the Lone Ranger was a fictitious character. But then as I go through my researches, as I came across more information, it came to find out, it glimpsed me a bit that, that an elder told me that the Lone Ranger, the real quote unquote Lone Ranger was really a black man. And I say, interesting. So, so now it came down to, let's fast forward right now, 2 years ago, that when I came across it, the name Bass Reeves came to mind. That's the brother that you see right here. Now, and this happens to be day 5 of one of my episodes of My Herus Don't Appear on the Stamp, and Bass Reeves definitely came to mind. I wanted to go ahead and originally, and I may still do a follow-up on Steve Coakley, but Bass Reeves was an interesting character. He was born in Paris, Texas, to his parents being slaves back in 1831. So, he became the first black United States Marshal. Not only he was a deputy U.S. Marshal, but he was also bounty hunter too. This brother didn't play. Had over like 3,000 arrests, 7 shootouts, but he's never been shot himself. I mean, from what we know, I could tell you for a fact that he didn't need a posse. He basically handled this himself. There's so much information about our people that we don't know, and definitely don't want to know, because everybody want to think like we all been bought over here on slave ships and so on and so forth. I had a debate with that with a friend of mine on Facebook, Fedbook I call him. But Bass Reeves was that dude. Bass Reeves was that dude. He did the one thing that the so-called Caucasians could never do. And he did his thing exponentially. You know. I mean, like, arrested Mo, more than 3,000 felons. You know, I'm gonna put the link in the description for it. Shot and killed like 14 outlaws in self-defense. And, you know, rumored that, you know, he was never shot himself. This brother was bad to the bone. Didn't play the radio. So really, so now, you got other sites like Breitbart who talking about saying that, look, this guy was never really the real Lone Ranger. Well, he did it all dealing with those 3,000 felons overall by himself, you know. But this brother here definitely makes my list, and he definitely was going to be on there, you know. 1838, so he died later on in July. I forgot, later on, a few years after that, at the age of 71. He had a lot of children too, but this guy definitely was the man, though. He definitely was the man out there in the West, that's for sure. But I'm just gonna leave a link in the description, so you can look it up yourself. If you don't gotta believe me, like I tell everybody, you know, you ain't got to believe me. You know what I'm saying? You could go ahead and you could research it yourself. You know, I'm not even worried about with the stupid trolls and all that. You know, they always want to come kicking up bullshit facts and all that, but they can't even comprehend math themselves, much less hygiene. But let me know what y'all think about this brother here in the comment section and all that, and I will come through tomorrow for my next candidate, for the next person I have for MyHerusDAONS